Hello and welcome to the Echo Lake Lumber Settlement. This ugly piece of shit is one of 4 new settlements that Far Harbor offers. We will be restoring the house and adding a couple of more things to it. I did my best to make the game environment look nice, but Far Harbor is very foggy, so I'm sorry, the gods refused to assist me. Since the house gave me Domovinski Rat flashbacks, I wanted to fix it immediately. Thanks to mods, I had all the necessary items to repair the wall. Even the roof fit very nicely. This little red hole a bit further up the roof was easily fixed, but it didn't look good, so I attempted to modify the position of the block that I placed. But the damn thing just refused to rotate properly, so I left it alone. The other side was the real butt stabber. I couldn't find any roof blocks that were as steep as this one on the house, so this hole needed to be fixed with one of these big house corners. But they didn't really fit the house well, so I decided not to use them for now. I continued fixing the red roof with the blocks that I had, but again, the too slopey wrecked roof couldn't be fixed unless I used the big house corners, so I decided to use them across the entire roof. This way I could kinda make them fit. I covered the holes that this new roof had and added parapets so they are in line with the white roof peak. I think this helps give the illusion that these darker blocks are a part of the house. Considering what it looked like before, I think I did a decent job at fixing it. Now comes the other side of the house that has darker wooden walls. I used the Pier shack walls to repair this side of the house because the colors fit. Once inside the house, I repaired the floor as well. The brick items are exactly the same as the house floor, so it was very simple making it look like the holes never existed in the first place. Fixing the house took about an hour, and the end result is better than expected, but my expectations from this game are so low that it isn't really impressive at all. The bleachers are next. Since I was unable to remove the destroyed red seats, I needed to simply cover them with cement. In this case, I used cement stairs. Once the stairs were placed and aligned, I added 3 rows of 3 metal benches. Quite acceptable design if you ask me. But a question came to my face. What the hell are they looking at? For now it was shitty Wasteland, but I had a plan. I'd put the black foundation across this entire field up to the water. That was the entire plan. I know it was a shitty plan, but one plan always leads to another. This turned out to be true, because as soon as I came close to the water, I decided to create a new pier. I used the shack foundation and placed it over the existing wooden pier, and as I placed more and more shack foundations, a voice told me to make an actual shack. A pier shack. Shack walls, shack roof, and just like that, I had a nice little pier shack. I still didn't know what the fuck are these guys supposed to look at though. I moved to the other part of the settlement and I wanted to create some sort of a farm. I noticed barn items in my inventory. I don't know where did they come from, but I was pleased, so I quickly decided to create a barn that would be elevated from the floor because I had a specific plan for the farm itself. Once I had the elevated platform, I left the middle empty and placed this mesh floor, while leaving the area under it go straight down to the ground. Upon checking the height, I realized I made it suitable only for midgets, which wasn't good. Midgets can't travel to Far Harbor, so it was pointless. But after fixing it, this is where the farm would be, protected and hidden from everything, being fed only by the fishy soil within the dirt. I finished building the barn by placing walls and a roof. It is pretty cool that the roof has these supports that all connect together. Reminds me of all the time I spent at barns at my grandma's village. Okay, I never actually spent time at barns. They smell like a combination of cow shit and horse farts. Speaking of shit and farts, I placed an outhouse behind the barn, close to the existing pier. Just in case a fisherman decides to be nice, he can take a shit here, instead of in the water. All this thinking about poop finally gave me an idea what the bleachers should be looking at. A battle arena. I placed a boxing ring and 2 arena platforms. The fights will be overlooked by Kevin Spacey himself, and he will control the relaxed siren. At this point I finished building stuff, and as I was placing items I came across the snap and build menu that allowed me to change the color of brick walls. I realized that I could fix the house walls with the brick of the same color, which made the wall look so much better. But now is the time to do the tour and explain how this settlement works. We'll start with a pier shack. The small outer area of the shack pier holds a rowboat and a bunch of fish stands. Once inside the shack, we can see a bunch of workstations in a weakly lit room. The other room of this shack is the living quarters. The man who lives here also has a cat cage. He places himself in the cat cage and pretends to be a cat in order to learn how to catch fish better. He documents his findings on his desk and uses various items to help him become a better fisherman. After exiting the shack, we get to the battle arena. The contestants will battle using only fish as weapons. Kevin Spacey monitors the fights and makes sure nobody ever talks about Fish Club. There is a narrow hallway leading to the front side of the settlement. This area holds a lot of room ruined vehicles from the time when the nuclear explosion hit. The visitors knew about the nuclear explosion, but they refused to take shelter because the Fish Club event was more important. They chose to leave everything behind, be a part of Fish Club, and died doing what they wanted. Their pain and sacrifice allowed the current members to be here, and these vehicles give them a reason to believe in Fish Club and be a part of it. Going back through the hallway and turning right gets us in the diner that the club members can use to buy and eat fish. These trunks behind the counter all contain various fish meat that the fishermen caught. The stairs lead towards the front entrance of the house. On the left we have some wheelchairs, and on the right the game of rugs. If anyone wishes to go upstairs, they will need to complete the game of rugs. Stepping on the wrong rug combinations activates the cannons and blows them up. The next room is the control room. 3 people monitor members all across the island and organize events when necessary. This isn't an ordinary job though. It lasts a month, and then the people get replaced with a new batch, but during the month, the current workers need to spend a specific amount of time in these fishman tanks. The combination of Fish Club control and the effects of the fish tanks turns the workers into fish that gets used for the battles. It doesn't work every time though. After going further up, we get to the living quarters of these 3 workers. You can notice only 2 beds. This is because out of those 3 people, 1 person always fails to complete their transition. Upon failure, they end up going to the attic where they overdose themselves. There are rumors that Kanye and Jaden were a part of Fish Club as well, for various reasons, but it was never confirmed. Let's get back down now. Before exiting the house, we can see a toilet on the left, and again a few wheelchairs on the right. Once outside, the barn is right in front. This building doesn't contain any fish currently, but the enclosed farm produces materials for vegetable starch, and the starch produces adhesive. Adhesive is used to create custom fish weapons during special events, and this room also contains a large amount of crates and barrels that store the adhesive so it can be quickly used when necessary. The last part of the settlement is this large pier with the outhouse. It contains 2 rowboats and a bunch of fish stands. This is where the edible fish is placed. Remember, the fish that is used for fighting comes from the control room people. That completes the Fish Club settlement on the Far Harbor Island. Everything you've seen has been built without adjusting the settlement build limit, which was a pleasant surprise, but the terrible weather annoys me. It feels like I spent 6 hours in someone's ass. Either way, I hope you enjoyed. Building here was relatively nice and refreshing, so hopefully it shows in the video. If you have any suggestions for future settlements, make sure to leave a comment. I have been Petard, your glorious lord, and may the blessings of Petardia eternally touch your butt. I am a fishman, I like fish very much. I will do anything for some fish in my ass. I am a fishman, I like fish very much. Will someone please put some fish up my ass now?